What's up, guys? Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again with some more Bofuri set review for you, or maybe better known as Itai no wa ia nano de Byakur ni Kyokufri Shitai no Omoimasu.
Oh, max
Say it
out my
again, but don't look this time.
didn't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense.
Yeah, or Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
How do you
Anyway.
even get Bofuri from that?
I don't know. It's like a shortening or something.
Yeah, in the Japanese title, there's Bogyoryoku ni Kyoku Furi. Bofuri.
Yeah,
Border?
Borger.
Borgar. But anyway, I'm
Heard
joined
Borger,
today with
yeah.
Tyler, Carmen, and Andy, as I have been for the other videos in the series. And we will,
Don't want that burger.
as is Pittsburgh Weiss tradition, Andy's going to start us off with a brainstorm.
McChicken.
All
All right, we got this McChicken here. It's
McChicken girl.
you may you can play your climax cards without meeting color requirement. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's a cool one. All right. When your climax is placed on your climax zone, you can discard a card to draw a card. Very nice. And it's a brainstormer that searches for any character. This card is really good.
Yeah, this card's
It seems
dumb.
like a
Really
really key card.
It's like the dumbest brainstorm that they've printed in a long time.
Mhm.
Like, especially for like, I think the biggest thing is for 8 standby.
Yeah,
It no longer matters what you level and what you want to play from hand. You can always slam standby.
Just slam standby whenever.
And then
It's pretty good, yeah.
it filters your hand before you resolve standby. So like you throw targets out of your hand, it's all on one card, and it's your brainstorm.
Oh, this is really nice.
Yeah, card's insane. It is an A+, easy A+. Not quite S, but like because it's just like but like it fucking insane card.
Sadi.
Super wild. She's on a gay date with Maple.
Yeah, they're tripping out and having
Yeah,
rainbow hair
they're
or
getting
whatever.
high.
Yeah, they get high or something. Bofuri's very no, it's not. Joke. Next.
All
Wait,
right,
did we go too fast on that? This card has like insane implications, right? Is it like too obvious? Are they too obvious?
I
The
think
I don't know what to
implications?
say about it.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like
it's just like
the
it's strictly really
implications
good,
are
yeah.
nuts. Like the implications of opening up your climax, like making every climax colorless, is like crazy.
and also just like free hand filter when you slam a climax.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I guess it really is that simple. Card's insane. Okay, we can really move on now.
All right. We've got this 1-0 Cost Me combo. If you have 2 or more other game characters, it sits at 5,500. When this attacks, if the bar is in your climax zone, you have 6 or fewer cards in your hand, look it up to X cards from the top of your deck. Choose a game character from among them, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and discard the rest. X is the number of your opponent's characters. So she is on attack if you have 6 or fewer cards in hand. Look at a number of cards equal to the number of characters that your opponent has on board. Choose a character from among them.
This is the shittiest Magro they've ever printed.
What?
5-card Magra. If your opponent has a full board at level 1.
No. If you get to level 1 first, this is a 1-card Magro sometimes. At best, a 2-card Magro.
You just sandbag it a turn then.
But why?
Look at more cards.
It's
But what if
Magro on bar, though.
what if you played what if you just played cigarettes instead? Because like the main reason you want to play a card like this is because it can get you through first deck. But what if your opponent could control first deck? Because I also thought that this card was better than people were giving it credit for. But the more and more I thought about it, having your opponent dictate what you can do is just like, and they don't even have to do anything to dictate what they can do. They just like play a conservative level 0, which a lot of decks do, and not have much of a board, and then your level 1 combo is garbage.
I guess so. I mean, that is a really good point you bring up. I was gonna say, like, why would you run this over the cigarette or the Shizu combo? But I mean, that is a real concern. If you do get to level 1 first, you might have to sandbag a turn. I mean, which you can do, but then your opponent
might
is
not want
dictating
to,
the pace
yeah.
of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, having to potentially wait a turn for your level 1 combo is pretty annoying.
Yeah, I guess as a benefit, it is off bar.
It is off
So
bar and it
good
is on
for your
attack.
Yeah,
So
sits at 5,500.
I really think it's just fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I agree with
I'll
that.
give it like a C plus,
I'm gonna give it on the-
or like a B minus.
I'm gonna give it the lower end of fine. I think it's it is an on-attack plus. Like at worst, it's like Massachusetts, like reveal top ad, right? But like, those aren't good either.
Yeah.
What if your opponent has no board?
Well, then you definitely don't play this.
Why isn't this X+1? I think it would be so much better if it didn't even have the power and it was X+1. So it had the like potential to be good, like crazy, but like was never like too horrific. Like it was usually always at least 2. Because like what, like Prince Hotbod, like Kamome, like those are even less selective than that because your opponent can interact with them. And people still play those, you know. Like missed potential.
yeah, I don't know. I was looking back. I like the other maple combo better. The from yellow.
And even that one's not that amazing. Like
Yeah.
best part about it is it's off bar. That
Yep.
they could have done something a lot more flavorful too. And this is just kind of like this is the first card where I see it's just like, sort of missed opportunity in design to do something cool with this character. But whatever. Next. Kasumi wearing a cheap outfit.
Yep.
Level 0, 500. When this attacks, if you have one of your other characters, you may mill the top card if it's a level 0 or lower, put any slot in the back row. So a spawner. And then when this becomes reversed, level 0, it's a fucking clock bomb. It's a clock bomb that's a spawner. This card is a no game, no life card.
That's
Isn't that card a double rare?
It is.
This card is a rare.
The fail, yeah. It's still it's an okay profile.
The spawner,
500 power bomb that can toss you.
The fact that it is 500 power is what keeps it like as a niche C card. If you want to like deny overloaded memory cards.
Yeah, card's a lot better in No Game No Life than Bofuri. I'm willing to bet.
Probably, yeah. I'd
Because
imagine.
I would assume so, yeah.
This set, not so much.
Your cards have on-play effects a lot in Bofuri. You don't have like cards that you spawn that you don't mind not coming out of your hand. You want to play most of your level 0s. So the spawn kind of sucks in a way.
It's really nice to open these when you really, really good turn 1 play when you have a way to check the top card of your deck and try to set up a hit.
Yeah.
But even when you don't, it's like fine. You
Fine.
sometimes will just randomly hit.
All right. Next, Tyler.
All right. We got the what's that called?
Free fresh.
Yeah, we got the free fresh maple by ditching the Neg Soul combo, and also it is a pay 1 sack this. If you're level 3 or higher, choose any character with maple in name, and you swap it. Actually, no, you don't swap it. You put it on any stage, any position.
Yeah, from your hand.
From your hand, yeah.
This also enables like what is it? 2 stock swap or 2 cards. Since stock swaps pay 1 on play for a level 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the stock swap's a maple. So like for 2 stock, it lets you get the 2 soul body and the stock swap instead of paying 3, while also being a free fresh. In my experience, I don't know if you've had the same experience, Tyler. I cut this card down to 1.
I have it as 2
after
right
like
now.
some. Well, I was at 2 like during like TTS testing and like going into what is it, like playing it in paper like today because I got my playset today. I almost instantly put it down to 1 because grabbing zeros has been fairly easy from Grave because I play the Rico to fix for blue. And like so I can grab this if I really need to refresh no matter what because it's level 0 because Rico always grabs 0. on effect. So like I cut that down because I was running the other card. I guess if you're not running that as your blue fix, you might need to run 2 of it. But the card has
Yeah,
felt like
I don't. I'm not running that, so I do have 2 of those.
the cards felt a lot more underwhelming than its red in practice. But I do like what it enables. And it's been
I think
been
it
fine
has.
at one.
I think it has more options than people make it out to be. Than
Mm.
I
Yeah, it
don't
could.
think it's underwhelming. I think it's a solid card.
Yeah, the free fresh has seemed pretty good in practice, in my experience.
I would just be afraid of it. Because for the maple, you need to play one from your hand and then have another copy in your graveyard to resurrect with the one back row card.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then the fact that you have to discard, if you want to ensure your free fresh, you have to discard one of these maples, and then the maple will shuffle back, so it won't be in graveyard. So that would require you having like 3 maples, like
Mhm.
three angel maples, to try to get that, like 3 in hand to get that off. So just seems like really just.
I think
Yeah, I
you
mean,
just use it as a free fresh. You use it as a panic button.
Right.
Like discard. I know Konosuba has this too, like a free fresh where you discard the Megamine finisher to free
Right.
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like 8-gate Konosuba, and that's where you're running probably like 4 copies of this Megamine that you only ever want to field one
Well,
of.
that's what I was gonna
So
say.
you need ways to,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You're running 4 copies of the maple, so I don't think you play
well,
it.
here's the difference though. Here's the difference. With Konosuba, you're running 4 copies of the Megamine, but you only ever need one.
You only need one. Yeah.
Right.
With Bofuri, you're running 4 copies of the maple, and you need at least 2
But what about throughout the game?
or 3.
What if at level 1 or like whatever you're at like 1-5 and you still have like a ton of deck left, and it'd be super sick if you could like free fresh right now, because like if you free fresh now, you probably don't even really go to level 2 because you're so compressed.
Yeah, but then
It gives you the option. It gives you the option. Yeah.
But it's not very synergistic. Where like
Well, yeah, I
the
think
Megamine is synergistic. You're at 1-5 with Konosuba. You discard your level 3 that you're not going to need for a million years, and you free fresh. With Bofuri, you'd be discarding your card that you're going to need next turn.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think we're just I think looking at it as a way to set up, or as a way that like I think that the better way to look at it is you have the first effect is a panic button, and the second effect is why you run it as like a 1 or 2 of, because it like enables a bunch of other cards for a lower stock cost.
I don't think the second effect makes it worth playing at all. I don't think I would ever sleeve up this card and play it for the second effect.
The second effect is really good with the stock swap because of the stock crunch.
Why wouldn't I just play the summoner? If I'm having stock crunch issues, why wouldn't I just play
the summoner's
summoner?
3, the summoner's 3 stock, this would be 2 stock. It's one less
that's
stock
still
than
just
the
not
summoner.
worth a deck spot to me.
I think because it also has the free fresh, that makes it
Mm.
like it's 2 very corner case effects that on a card you can very easily select for, because it's a level 0 in a deck where you're running cigarettes, and like because blue at level 0 is so underwhelming, you're probably running that Rico, which means you can grab this when you need it.
Okay. Yeah, I can get that.
But yeah, I mean, like, so it's like a B, right? Like,
two corner case effects. Maybe you don't use it like going into your level.
Never. I don't think you ever do that.
2,
yeah,
but it's just like a panic button if you need it.
Because if you
two like really corner case effects.
Yeah, it's just like you throw it in. It's like a consistency tool. It's like a 1-0. All right, moving on. Who's got this one?
Back to the top. I think it's me again. We got another. We got sheep maple. When this is reversed in battle, you can pay 1 and discard a game character and send this card to memory. That's pretty dope. If you do, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card among them, add it to your hand.
The drop search for the top 2 of your deck where you can't put your climax.
This is a draw. Oh,
Yeah, and the card goes to memory. So it's like bad Wildberry Princess.
I was thinking of this like a Ricky, where you clock yourself, but no, you discard a game character,
Yeah,
filter the top 2.
and it has
Yeah.
to
It
be
does
a
sit at
character.
2,000 power though.
It's like
Means nothing.
fine.
Yeah,
I think there are better cards you would run than this, but this card is fine.
it's okay.
The memory doesn't do enough. The memory is important when you are running a lot of memory, where it's
Yes.
like contingent upon your
Right.
strategy, where you're a deck that's efficient enough where you don't need stock, you can afford to compress into memory because your cards don't have a big stock cost. So your compression is safer in memory than it is in your stock. But Bofuri is a deck where it desperately wants stock to do the things that it wants to do. So putting things into memory doesn't really mean too much, and drop searching the top 2 of your deck is not an effective use of your stock because it's not
You should
selective
just be
enough.
you shouldn't be canceling damage through compression. You should be canceling damage through the
Maple.
minus soul effect
Yeah.
on your maple wall.
But
But is
yeah.
this a memory condition for something else?
no. It's just empty alone.
It's not like bad, but it's just not.
Not
I don't
great.
think it's like
Alright,
it's not
yeah.
for
Yeah,
Bofuri.
It's just fine.
Maple's cute though. Cute Maple.
Cute Maple.
Next card.
Well, we got Cheap Sally. Level 0, 3,500 power. You can't play events or backup from hand while this is on the board. On play, mill 2. It gets 1,000 power until the end of turn. X is equal to 1,000, or it gets 1,000 power per game character you mill with the 2 cards on play.
He doesn't wear this as well as Maple.
She doesn't, but I like this card a lot better than the 4K that gives cost 2 Encore.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's an even better green card if you want to play a Field Plus. It's a couple cards down. I think this card's fine. I don't like the Force Mill because it makes it a worse thing later.
Mm-hmm.
But and not being able to play backups is pretty bad for both.
And I don't think this is your primary plussing 0. This is probably like you play a couple of it and you level it when you get a chance to.
I guess, but then
Like you're probably not playing this later. The mill seems good on like. The mill is, I think, objectively good on your first deck.
Early, yes.
early,
when
yes,
when your combos of choice are probably the 2 primary combos in this set they're trying to push you into are either the
choice or
Sally
pants, yeah.
the Sally Shizu combo or the Maple combo where you need to have the trees in your graveyard. So the mill's fine actually.
I'd rather play the 4K, I think, just because of where 4K is in the meta right now in both languages. 4K is just so much better than 3.5 when you don't have the level, because at least the Futabas are bodying the Bang Dream, like
The bombs, yeah.
the Bang Dream bombs, which like you'll undoubtedly see in Swiss, but like this isn't even doing that. It just wins on your turn.
I suppose. I guess it's like a player preference thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah. What do you
I
want?
just really I don't like giving your opponent pay 2 Encore.
That's fair.
And I value the mill, so
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Next, I think this is me.
Yep.
We got Maple and Sally on top of the syrup, the turtle. The 3K backup, and it mills cards from your opponent's deck equal to your field, but it mills them from the bottom, unlike the top. So it's like
Yep.
reverse Ruby counter. I'm giving this card an A. I think I've played enough Love Live Sunshine to know that Ruby counter is actually unbelievably good. Forces your opponent to play around something that might completely destroy their deck, and at worst is a 3K counter to defend your field in a field-based deck at level 2, putting you at 14-5 before anything else, as long as you've come with the Maple, which is a lot to climb for any deck. And then on top of that, can possibly just break your opponent's deck state when used correctly. You don't always pop it, but like when you do, like this effect is just extremely, extremely strong, and it's free. It doesn't remove any power from the backup. It's just free. Just free.
Okay, so Do you have ways to look at the top cards of your opponent's deck, or to bottom deck cards from your opponent's field?
No.
Because that makes this card either better / worse than the Ruby backup. Depending
No,
on that.
you do not. But like Love Live Sunshine really doesn't either.
Mm-hmm.
They do for their own deck, but not for their opponents.
Well, Sunshine's a lot more aggressive, though. You're playing that as a way to, I feel, as a way to not only defend your early plays, but to
Well, okay.
ruin your opponent's deck state and like push them towards a refresh point.
Well, going off that, we're a grind deck, right? We're playing
This
a
seems
Nexal
like
combo.
a more defensive deck, yeah.
Well, so yeah, we're defensive, right? Wouldn't in a grind scenario where we're trying to push every point of damage possible, milling our opponent out to a refresh point be something super preferable? Running this as our main backup, if we back up 2 cards in a turn, our opponent went through 13 cards on that turn.
Yeah, comparing this card to the backup we saw in the last video, where it's pay 2, deal 1 damage to your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is strictly better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Because milling them 5 is pushing them
aggressive.
towards a refresh point, which is a point of damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
The fact that it's 3K, the fact that it's free, like it's a vanilla 2/1 counter that has this additional effect. Because this doesn't mean anything to Bushiroad, despite it being so unbelievably strong in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it's
I can
used.
get behind the here.
I think for the deck, it's very important. Like I've only played a couple games. I've played like 5, 6, 7 games so far, and this has been relevant in every single game. The same way it's always been relevant in Love Live Sunshine in almost every single game. It's almost more relevant in Bofuri because like you're trying to grind the game out a lot more.
Yeah, I just don't think it's
Yeah, I'll
unbelievably, quote unquote, unbelievably powerful. I think it's powerful, but it's not like.
Yeah, I think I'm too.
I don't think it's an A tier still, but it's good.
I'm pretty biased towards the profile. I really like the profile, so well, I can leave it at that for sure. I could see it as a B card, just a good card.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it too. I mean, I play more Ruby backups than either of you guys ever did.
That's true.
But yeah, I think it's a really good card. Probably the level 2 backup of choice you'd play in the set, I'd imagine.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Also fixes you for green without you like needing it to play the card.
True,
if
yeah.
you want to play green. So, all right, next, more interesting card. The other one.
This one's me, right?
Yep, you got it.
Alright, so 3/2, 9,500 Sally. Experience, if you have 6 or higher, she sits at 11. And on attack, well, first off, the climax is a split salvage. So choose 2 characters, get a soul, salvage a character with a
Soul trigger, right?
soul
All
trigger.
Yep.
And when this attacks, if you have that climax in the climax zone, you burn based off of the level of the card you ditched, and it also gets 2,000 power. So it sits at 13.
That's a lot of damage modulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really get to control exactly how much you want to burn for. Bofuri has good options for cards with soul triggers at 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about like not having the card engrave that you want to grab with the split soul to deal the exact amount of damage, at least for the first Sally you resolve. Obviously, the big thing with this card, and I think like when we were looking at it, like people brought it up immediately. This card has no on-play effect.
It doesn't do anything, yep.
So the most obvious way to play this card and pair this card is with standby. And it was one of the first things I was like pitching around with when they revealed this card is 6 standby and 2 split soul. And I passed it off to Tyler because I didn't have my playset in yet, and I told him to play it. How did it work?
It worked really well. I didn't even get the experience off for the 2 or 3 games that I played this, and it still.
The damage was enough. The damage was enough.
The damage was nuts.
The damage modulation is ridiculous.
Because I got 3 out one time and 2 out another time, and I had like Adachi also with so I pulled out the Adachi on the split salvage for the
burn one.
burn one. I had a bunch of other level 3s in my hand for. It's just nasty damage modulation.
For,
Yeah,
for a very efficient like cost,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, the fact
Yeah.
that you can just go like attack for 3, attack for 3, attack for 3, and then on top of that, burn for exactly what you need at the time. You can,
Or attack for
hold-
2 in every lane because it's a split soul. You don't even have to assign the.
Right, that's true. Yeah,
You
it's
don't
actually-
even have to assign the soul with the climax.
Yeah,
I mean, that also gives you more damage modulation. You can go 3 here, 2 here, 2 here.
yeah,
or...
the amount of control you have there is
But, like,
is bonkers.
How much control do you actually have though with a 6 standby deck though in that sense? Because if you're trying to like really toolbar, here's the issue that like I haven't played with it or against it, right?
Mhm.
But just theory crafting it, it seems like a big issue would be, the power of a modular burn effect like that is that you can, use this as like your last attack and try to hit him for exactsies.
Right, exactly.
But the fact that this card's not plussing for you on play,
Well, that's why you stand
and
by
the
it
fact
out.
that you're probably running like standby triggers, right, which aren't putting things in your hand. How are
Right.
you need like a hand toolbox going into your last turn if you want to leave yourself the option to burn for 1 or 2 or 3.
Well, the
or multiple
climax
instances of
replaces itself
either.
with at least 1 damage burn.
Yeah, you're
Which-
probably
Which is
probably
true,
holding.
you get to choose one of them, but like, so if you want to have like, you
Andy's
say this
saying
gives
it's
you so many
like-
options.
If you want to have all of the options, you need to have a 1, 2, and 3 in your hand, all with
multiple
a soul
copies.
trigger.
You need like 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s to really give yourself like
Yeah, if you want to do the ultimate, right? But like,
Yeah.
the ultimate.
it's like the ultimate versus the baseline of the card, which is you salvage the first burn that you want.
I mean, you don't need Exodia with this. Like, I think
Is it that
even
good
if you
that
even
you
if
don't
you just
need
have
it?
a whole hand of level 3s and you go attack for 3, burn 3, attack for 2, burn 3, attack for 3, burn 3, that's probably enough.
It's still fine, yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like the big appeal of the card is, man, I can build a burn, like you just choose the perfect burn damage for the perfect situation, and I can kind of take it like attack by attack. But
I guess
you
it
would
really-
need to have like a toolbox hand to do that.
If you're playing
Yeah.
standby, you probably have the 1/1 in the back row, right? So even if you're not resolving experience, it's not even that bad because you're
No,
gaining
yeah.
2,000 power with the climax combo. And if you put it out in front of the level X puts it to, because you have the 1/1 level X maple that's really good. So you put it in front of that, it's 11, and then you're backing up to 14 before the act that's also on that same level X, the act power. So like it's not even that bad if you're not playing for experience. So maybe you don't even need to play like 4 of this. You don't even need to max it out to try to level 1.
Maybe you could even play this in the maple builds, like since you have the brainstormer that lets you use climaxes without color identity. I mean, I guess you'd still need to play this, but I feel like that opens up a lot of potential too. Like the maple finisher, right? Doesn't it's a defensive finisher, so you could maybe like you have a climax swapper, you could pivot into this if you need to. You know what I mean? Like run the maple soul wall, and then maybe have like a couple of these split souls and a couple of these that you could go into at your top end. Maybe that's a line. I don't know.
Sorry, I had water go down the wrong pipe. And by water, I mean beer.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
I heard what you said, yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
Hmm.
Because I kind of talked.
Yeah,
and then
it's like-
everybody just went silent, and I'm like,
I'm just
oh,
thinking.
I didn't think it was that.
It's
bad.
like,
didn't think it
I
was a
do
crazy
think-
opinion, but-
I do think that if you want to play this card, you should aim to never play this card from hand because it would feel so terrible
I
to
did
play
it.
from hand.
It-
But does it really feel that good if your opponent doesn't die that turn?
No, but in
Which
the-
I think
true.
is the problem. Like
That's
what-
any finisher. That's any burn.
Yeah,
finisher.
that's any finisher. Though.
But I
Like, you'll
think-
probably
but yeah,
die
so,
on
like-
swing back for any finisher.
But I think that's my answer, right? I don't think you really ever try to play this or jam this in this is a deck. This is a card that builds a deck around itself.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You build a deck to support this card because it doesn't do anything on play, and it has all this like you need to have these cards in hand. So like, I need to have level 1 targets with soul triggers. I need to have level 2 targets with soul triggers. I need to have more level 3s than normal. Like,
Yeah, because since you're running all that standby too, you have the 1/1 targets for the
you have
burn
the
ones.
miseries.
You have the
Like,
miseries. You have more of these. You run the other maple healer, which you don't really do anything with. That was more
the
like
green
level
one.
fodder.
The green
Yeah,
one.
You
yeah,
have
the
the
green
two,
one.
you have the 2/1 backup. For
Yeah, you have the
level
2/1
2.
backup.
Mhm.
You know, I was reading this card at first, and I'm thinking like, the experience seems pretty useless on it because you don't need a reverse for the combo.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as standby is concerned, you standby it out as a 11K.
11K, yeah.
So like
And it just
as
sits
a
there.
standby target, I kind of like that build you came up with.
Yeah, I think that, like, I only even thought of it because I was coming off trying to, like, quote-unquote fix Dow post-ban list, and I was thinking that you could play, like, 6 standby and 2 of something else, and I was just like, oh, that would work a lot better with the Sally than it would with any of these cards.
Mhm.
And I'm glad it, like, worked to an extent. I think that if there's a deck that runs this card, it's probably that. This card also has a sick SR, by the way. This card is a really good-looking SR. So don't play the base rarity version. It's a little bit too much red for me.
No, we love the red.
I think
She's
it looks
just
cool.
gonna kill the
I think it
Uchiha
looks
clan.
badass.
Yeah, she does the Naruto card. All right, are we ready to rate this? A little
that
bit of
was-
an awkward card.
I thought I already rated it.
I think I would just give it the
Brian.
B. Yeah,
It's hard,
it's
it's
B.
hard
I think
to
it's a flat
evaluate.
B.
It's
But when this
good,
car-
but it needs a build around, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And when it's good, it's really good, but you can't just throw it in any deck.
Yeah.
it needs something to mitigate the fact that it literally does nothing if you have to play it from hand.
Right.
It's also notable. I think this is like one of the first times we're actually getting the actual climax, the
Split soul.
salvage
Yeah.
split soul one. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this Randall coined this one. The person who translated the card first called it Split Soul, and now everybody's calling it Split Soul. So it is what it is. It's better than Amaburi Soul. So whatever. At least it has a real name. But yeah, this I want to see this more, maybe on like a more normal combo in a more normal deck to see how it like
On a level
really
1 combo or
works.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything, like a more normal finisher, a more normal combo in general. So yeah, we'll have to see. Cool card. Next, I think this is back to the top.
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right, we got Sally running like Naruto, heading to kill the Uchiha clan. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can mill a card if it's a game character. This runs. Whoosh! It has accelerate too. It's really fast. Start of your climax phase, you can clock yourself. It gets 2,000 power cross turn. I think the accelerate effect's pretty useless on this actually. Well, not. The
Becomes
effect
a
is pretty
3,500 runner.
Yeah, it becomes a running oversize.
I don't think that's why the card's good. I feel like with runners, the important part is that it lives, not that it kills something.
But you can kill something with it on your turn, which makes it even better, right? Like,
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I don't. I mean, I guess you could, yeah. I feel like the important implication of this, though, is you have accelerate in a standby set. So if you're at like 0-6,
and it all triggers at the start.
the beginning of your climax step, so
Yeah.
you would clock before you play your climax.
It
So
gets you to
could
level
accelerate
1.
yourself up to level 1, and then play the standby, because that's how the timing would work.
This
So
card is
I think
yeah.
I think it's a mill runner that I think this card's really, really good in the standby heavy decks where you don't accelerate to kill something, but you accelerate to get yourself from if your opponent's trying to level lock you can get around that.
Mhm.
There's argument for running this card in a lot more than standby, and that's because it's tied to a pretty good early play that we'll see in a couple cards here. But I don't want to like spoil it. I think we rate the card as it is. But like
I mean, is it even
it
really
has
possible
problems.
Is it possible to really level lock a standby deck when you have Ricky and this?
If you can find space to run the Ricky and the standby deck, which I don't know if you can. I haven't been able to fit it in my builds, but I definitely run this card in those decks.
Yeah.
Because the early play that it's tied to is not only a good early play in its own right, but also a good standby target at the same time. So like it fits right into a standby deck like really, really well. I like that because like we saw a lot of these cards where they sit good on your opponent's turn, like the one maple and yellow and stuff like that. But Bofuri, like, you play a ton of utility cards, but you don't have a lot of cards to like try to win board in any way at level 0. So the fact that you have a runner that can try to kill something is like pretty good for the deck at 0, I think, in general. Because you can't just like sandbag your whole level 0 unless you're something like Slime. And even then, their Chloe swings in at 3,500, which is like somewhat analogous to this from a like power standpoint. But yeah, like I think the card, I'm gonna, little bit of a spoiler, I'm giving it a B+ because it's tied to the early play, and I think the early play is pretty good. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, as a runner that can that has the option to kill stuff, I think it's that makes it more relevant than just a regular runner.
What else had this card? I think Charlotte got this card, but it got to 4K, but it was only on their turn, which made it bad. But this is better because it's cross turn, and it's still a runner. So it's still a mill runner.
I guess you can kind of like use it to throttle damage in a sense too, right? So check it out. You accelerate yourself, so you're taking at damage to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then on your opponent's turn, you can run this in front of one of your opponent's weaker cards. So their direct attack's now a front attack, so you're taking 1 less damage. So in that sense, the accelerate kind of pays for itself. The damage equals out,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense.
Runner run.
Yeah.
Runner
Get out of
no
the way.
combat.
Get big, kill stuff. Cool card.
Bunga bunga.
Dude, Sally seems like a badass. She seems like the most badass character in the show. She's had like all the cool cards so far.
It depends what you think about Dex. You think Dex is cool? Sally's cool. Think Dex is lame? Pretty lame. Argument for another day. Next card.
Brian?
All right.
Brian,
I
yeah.
think this is me, yeah. All right, we've got this 2/1 Maple, 6k power. She's got frontal assist, level 3 characters in front of her get 2k. When she is placed on stage from your hand, you can choose Syrup, Awaken in your waiting room, the turtle, put it face up under this as a marker. And then she has Act, pay 1, ditch a card, choose a Syrup marker underneath her, put it in any slot of your stage, and then at the end of turn, it goes back underneath as a marker.
You got to stand. JoJo card.
Syrup gets big.
I like the fact that her name's Maple and the turtle is Syrup.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, she named it that on purpose.
shout outs to Wiberly, because he's in Canada. Maple Syrup, get it?
Damn, got him.
Got him.
Where's
love
the
you, Ryan.
Where's the bagel trigger?
The bag
We love you, Ryan.
Yeah,
But
we love
what's
Ryan.
the turtle do? What's Syrup do?
He's the next
turtle.
card. We can take a look. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets up to level 3 untargetable if you have 2 or more other characters. And on attack, it's 1,000 for the number of your other characters. Gets up to 12k max. Gets 14 with
No,
the
other 11. Only 11 max.
Oh, gets up to 11, right? And then gets up to 13 with the Maple behind him because he gets up to level 3 with his own effect.
Yeah, so he'd be a 13. Like a reusable killer, but it's 2 cards.
Marker compression.
It's nice that you can choose to leave the turtle up front as like a level 3 untargetable. That's would still get the power pump from her in the back row. So it would sit at 9k on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
9K.
9k
Yeah.
level if you choose to leave it up front.
Weirdly, and I know this is strange for me, I think the level X that the set has is just better than this package. Because it has Act, pick 1k.
Yeah, I mean that is extremely relevant.
It's like because you're playing a 3K counter, like it puts you at like really disgusting thresholds that this card cannot. Because you're already at 11-5. Your Maples.
Yeah, so TBH, I think this is really cool, but I don't think it's worth the deck spots. I feel like Syrup's not worth it.
Yeah, Syrup's not great. He's a lot better in this show.
It's fine, but it's like why not? I think I'd rather just play a normal level assist
Mhm.
than have to run all these cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a C just because it's a 2000 in front to level 3s.
Yeah, I think that's a relevant effect to have, and
Yeah.
But the Syrup
maybe you just run it like 2 Maples, 1 Syrup, and if you get the you get the syrup, you get it.
If you get the Syrup, you're making pancakes, bacon pancakes. Oh no, wrong set. That was the last set review. That was the last one, not this one. But yeah, this fucking turtle, nobody has to waste their turn on it. Give this card's whatever. This card sucks.
he's untargetable though.
I'm just gonna give it the same rating as the Maple.
That's fair.
I think he gets a little lower.
He's
than
the
Maple
worst
because
part of the Maple.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
frontal 2K is relevant, but the fact
Yeah.
that the turtle gets massive and can kill stuff is potentially relevant if you're playing the frontal 2K.
Why didn't they make a turtle JC, dude? He lifts you out of the. I printed a turtle JC in my set. Come on, Bushiroad, hire me.
That's pretty clever, actually.
Yeah, it's more flavorful than this shit. I guess the JoJo shit is pretty flavorful.
Yeah,
Because they're this Sally and Maple have like their pets, and Syrup is Maple's pet. So she can spawn her pet, just like in real fucking what is it? Fucking World of Warcraft. And Syrup flies just like a wild mount. All right, next card. Who's this?
Syrup flies?
he does.
Yeah,
he
he
gets really big and he
flies.
flies. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a flying turtle. Trust me, Maples gets more and more broken. She just like repeatedly breaks the game constantly. Like the flying turtle's a part of it. Who has this one? Is this me?
I have no idea.
Yes.
Okay, so if the runner is in your clock, this card gets -1 level in hand. If all your characters are game, this gains 1,000 power. So if you're playing Bofuri, this card is an 11k. And then when it's placed from stage from hand, you choose a game character in your clock, put it at the bottom of your deck. So even if you have this card on top of your clock, the early play conditions similar to like the one in GGO or whatever, you can heal the bottom card to the bottom, or you can peel any card in your clock to the bottom of your deck, which is important because you also have a search brainstorm. So you put a card from your clock back in your deck that you can search. Or if you're at the bottom of your deck, you can put a card into your deck to trigger for like a clean trigger.
Yeah, isn't this overstated?
Yes.
It's really close to overstated.
Yeah, 11k early play healer off a clock condition seems pretty good.
Yeah,
especially when
it's insane.
Also,
Especially when
it heals to bottom. It heals
It's
not a
because
conventional heal, which is important.
Right.
yeah, it can't heal a climax off, but like
Yeah, I can't. Oh, you take that climax as refresh point? There you go. Oh, wait, no, it's game character
it
only.
can't-
yeah, it's character
climax.
only. But like
Oh.
you have normal healers for that. Like, you know, you take climax as refresh point, you have a normal 2 or less healer to deal with that. I think that you try to run this package in most Bofuri decks. I think this is too good. A repeatable early play heal like this.
hmm
Now, you probably don't play it if you're running the Maple combo, right? Like the,
Oh, I have. I've been playing it alongside it. Yeah,
How does that feel?
even
Isn't
more
that too
heals.
stock heavy?
Even more heals because one like okay, so like after like let's say 1 turn of Maple, right? You have stock. Even if one of your Maples has been answered, which is like pretty unlikely, because they can only really extend to try to get over 1, and your backup usually protects it. You have stock. You'd like to continue being a dirtily deck, right?
hmm
You have this set from the previous turn. Like you clock this at your first level 2 turn or whatever. You heal something else off because you're normally not like at 2-1. Right, that's not super common.
Right.
You heal something off, whatever. you go in, or it's in your clock because you're running 4 of it because it's a mill runner, right? It just leads right into that dirtily strategy, and it's a fat lane that they can't answer. Like, and they want to extend themselves to kill the Neg Souls, right? But then, like, you also have this fat 11k healer in the other lane. It's just more heal.
Wouldn't you rather just take your Maple back and play it again? Because the Maple also heals.
You can't always early play the Maple again because she's 2 or less. This is always online. And your Maple, when she's summoned from grave, does not heal. And sometimes you need to continue to heal. So, like, it feeds directly into that strategy, and this card as a healer played at level 3, unlike other early play healers, is still totally fine. Like, early play healers that are totally fine to play at level 3 are, like, few and far between. It's, like, Mesmerizing, like, Shizu and Yun. I would argue this. Like,
if the clock condition was worse, I would disagree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a good clock condition because the card is fine. The card it's attached to being fine is okay. Like, if this was a worse card,
you don't really need to stretch to
play it. Yeah, because you already are the mill runner already solves the problem of I can't really beat over things on my turn.
Is this an uncommon? This is an uncommon.
Yes, these are 2 uncommon cards.
They're uncommon.
The runner's uncommon too?
Yeah, this card's nuts.
Uncommon. I thought it was a rare.
Yeah, this little package is really good. I love early play healers. Easy A for me. Card's really fucking good.
It just sits at 11k for no reason.
In standby, this card is even more disgusting. In the other decks, it's just pretty good. In standby, I think this is like gross. Like, really, really gross.
Yeah, I can be on board with that.
Alright. I've shilled enough. Next card, Tyler.
Alright. When this is placed stage for him, reveal the top card of your library. If that's a level 1 or lower, put it to stock, so it's Kaede. And then when this is placed in his hand stage, you may choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters and kill it. If so, your opponent chooses up to 1 cost 0 or lower character and places it on the same slot. Almost good.
It just kills something.
Yeah.
Might play for 1.
And maybe plays for 1.
Maybe give them their card back. If they don't have a card, they don't get anything back.
Yeah, because it does go to waiting room first. Because your opponent chooses up to 1. They might not be able to fulfill it. It's not like level down where you have to choose the card it replaces first.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that's particularly relevant, but still.
No, it's still...
Yeah, it's not an early play. It is a level 3. If this card was an early play, there'd be more of a case for it, but I think as it stands, it's pretty fucking whatever.
Yeah, it's just kind of awkward.
There's
heal or anything. It just plays for
you
1.
have other ways to play things for 1 or play things for cheaper. You have the summoner.
Yeah.
You have the thing that plays maples for 1.
This is kind of like a blink
Musashi
effect
for
too.
1.
A little bit, yeah. It's kind of like a blink.
So, like, if you weren't running the 1/0 Amagi blink card that I was gushing about in yellow, you could just run this level 3, and if they have a soul wall or anything with like a lingering effect, like a cross turn effect that you just want to get off the field, you can just level down the character and get it off the table. And it's stock efficient too. And if you have stock crunches in the deck, then it's a 3/1. It's a 3/1 soul.
Yeah, it's 3/1 more often than not. We all know the numbers on Kaede are planted in her favor.
This is also chooses a level 3 or lower character anywhere. It can hit back row.
Yeah, you can kill back row with this. That's why I gave it just the straight D.
Yeah,
it would be. I think it would be worse if it couldn't do that.
Card's perfectly playable. It's like a 1 cost level 3 that blinks a character. Quote unquote blank, but you know.
Alright. Next card.
We got this maple. What type of climax is this? A stonk soul?
I think it's green stock soul, yeah. I think.
Okay, well,
Bofuri players confirm.
What?
Hmm.
What type of climax is that? Green Stoxel?
Doxel, yeah.
That's probably a stock, so yeah.
Yeah, it's Doxel.
all right. She's sitting on this log eating her ladybug. When if something's troublesome, eat it is placed on your climax zone. If you have 5 or less stock, all of your characters get the effect. On attack, pay 1 twin drive. Also has an act ability, rest this, choose one of your opponent's front row characters and give it minus 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think this card is probably best used as a if you're gonna play it, it's like a recurable minus 1,000 every turn to one of your opponent's things. Again, since you have climax swap and can play all your climaxes without color identity and whatnot, I feel like maybe there's like a janky build for Bofuri where you run like 4 or 5 different climax combos and you can just like toolbox your climax combos. At which point, this would be a good option for that deck.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with this card is that the combo gives all of your characters twin drive, but then the trigger on this climax is not a good trigger for hitting with twin drive.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. But we're toolboxing here. I don't think you play this as like your primary combo.
No, definitely.
Wait. This card is just better than the one trial deck card. The one trial deck card was front row character minus A1, front row character -1. This is rest this, front row character -1.
Well, you can like attack with the other card the same turn if you're like on a
Yeah,
level
that
0
card's
turn and you want to get rid of
500
their
frontal assist.
You can also repeatedly use the
Sure.
the cost one.
I don't know. That's
So
better.
you just pay 10, kill a 10k. Easy.
Oh my god.
Broken.
Yeah, I don't like this card.
It's not great.
Not a fan. I'm pretty sure they printed a version of this climax combo that gave your characters twin drive, but it was free, where it actually generated stock. Or maybe it chose 1 or 2 of your characters.
I don't know. This is a
instead of
common
all.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next.
All right. Got this level 0, 2,000 power Sally. She has this ability activates up to twice per turn. When you play another game character from your hand, it gets 1,000 power. It being this Sally. And during your turn, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can look at the top card of your deck and either put it back on top of your deck or into the waiting room. She can get up to 4K if you play 2 other cards.
I don't like it.
And when she reverses something, she checks your next attack's trigger. Yeah, that's not.
It's bad.
Yep.
Not good. Never sleeve it.
Nope.
Sally Shadow Clones. You may have
heck
as many copies of this with the same name in your deck. And for each of your other, this card, Sally Shadow Clone in the front row, this gains 2,000 power. Notably, there is an A and B version of this card, and I cannot tell the difference between them. I think they might just have different flavor text.
I think one is slightly zoomed out, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got 8 of them in my playset. I can't tell the difference between them. This is a 1/0 with a soul trigger.
Oh, it does have a soul trigger.
That is the only notable thing about this card. That's an F. That's it. Got a 1/0 soul trigger.
Yeah, I'll join you in the F clan.
It's not good.
I mean, does the fact that it has like a soul trigger make it actually like
you run 8 choices, but you're mono green, and you can only play the climaxes because you have the Sally Brains. Maybe, but like I don't think so.
I don't know. The fact that it has a soul trigger makes me like maybe gives it some playability. I don't know. It's
that would be the only reason to try anything with it. I think, yeah.
It is an army card with a soul trigger. It is interesting.
Maybe you don't run a million of it. Maybe you just run it as like a costless soul trigger. I don't know.
Possibly. All right, it's
probably
your
not,
card.
but you know.
Tyler.
Oh, sorry. When your other game character is frontal attack, you can pay the cost, which is pay 1, sack this, and choose one of your characters and make it 2,500 power. And this also has clock encore.
But yes, you can use this when it sacks itself. You can encore it. So it's a
repeatable field backup.
Pay 1, clock yourself 2,500 power backup. It's pretty spicy. I don't.
It is
Pay 1,
very
sack at
spicy. I don't know
2,500.
if...
You don't have to clock it.
No, you
Yeah,
don't
or
have
just
to
pay
clock
1,
it.
clock it.
You can kind of just use this as a third attacker, and if you want to clock encore it, you can. It's pretty versatile in that sense.
It does possibly deny a lane of reverse by sacking itself and giving power to another.
Solid standby target, probably.
It's very, very spicy.
Extremely.
I'll give it like a D for the spice.
I'm thinking D.
I don't
also,
even think
yeah.
it's that bad. I think it's like it might be like a C minus. I think this card might be okay in like a very like.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it work. I think it's interesting because 2,500 is a lot of power.
Yeah, that is a hefty chunk
Yeah.
of power.
I
I
don't know
just
what you
don't
play
like
it
the
in.
clock encore. If it was hand encore, that'd be a lot nicer. Because I'm just thinking if you just
it
keep
makes
this in
it
like
not
your
that
back
bad.
row or something, I
If
feel
it's
like
hand
that would.
encore, then you're like the appeal to this is it doesn't cost a card to do, right?
Clock encore makes this the same as like having a backup on your that you use, but then your character is still there. If it can survive its own lane, it is 4,500.
I mean, but
on
I'm
its
saying
own.
like if it's like a hand encore, then it's like you permanently have a 2,500 backup on the
power
field at all
backup, yeah,
times.
that's true.
So then you
I guess
don't
I
need
like
to
it better
run
than
any
clock
backups.
encore. At that point, why wouldn't I just run like
A
backups
backup, yeah.
and like not have to field this
I
card?
like the idea of like using it for a reverse denial by bumping something above something that needs to get a reverse and then it denying an additional lane by sacking itself off. Like a reverse
yeah.
JC.
I like that you can do it from front row or back row. This is either like a third lane of attacking, like your shitter lane, or you can put it in your back row and just have counters whenever you want them.
Yeah. Very interesting. I'd be interested to see what people come up with this card.
Yeah, that's.
I'm talking myself up. We're just gonna go.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think the card's fine.
Top of the bell curve.
All right, next. Who's the suit?
Back
It's
to me on
back to
this
you.
one.
This is
Yeah.
Andy, yeah.
Got Maple and Sally enjoying some milkshakes in the Denny's.
Basically, yes.
It's basically a Denny's. Yeah. When this card's placed from your stage to the waiting room, you can pay 1. If you do choose a relax Sally in your waiting room, put it rested in this spot. So when so when this 5K dies, you can pay 1 and turn it into a 5,500.
Heck
Yeah. You get that 500 power bump, dude.
Pretty solid.
Yeah,
Also,
this is
pay one
really
plus.
bad. Yeah, this is really fucking.
Is there anything else that combos with these, or
No.
D for pay 1 plus.
It's hilariously bad. It's
No,
the most
F plus.
hilariously bad card ever.
F plus for pay 1 plus. It's like the slowest apple blonde ever.
Why is this not like a level? Usually that's like a level 0 that changes into a level 1.
Well, 'cause
These are both level
she
1.
finishes her drink and then Sally's got to come finish her drink. Like, come on.
That's the flavor. I don't know.
All right, next card.
All right, we've got this Cosme. 105k. When this card attacks, gains X power for the turn. X is equal to 500 times the number of your opponent's characters. So bad Shimakai. And when this card becomes reversed in battle, you cannot use Encore for the turn.
Well, it's not even a Shimakai. It's a Slayer. that your opponent can
Oh,
control.
this card games. Yeah.
F minus. I hate these. I hate
you're-
it. I hate the profile normally.
All of this girl's cards, like this, the theme seems to be counting your opponent's field, whether it be for the climax combo.
And
or
that's
for,
not flavorful at all. She's like an
this.
assassin. She's like a super fast, like she's the only balanced character of their entire guild. She's like fast and strong. She's like a samurai.
Balanced means bad.
Yeah, and like I don't understand why they gave her cards this quote unquote flavor, because it doesn't make any sense at all. Kasumi was robbed. I like this character a lot. She got fucking shafted in this entire set. You should have had more yellow cards. I gave Kasumi better cards. Alright, next card. Vanilla. No one waste their time with vanilla. Okay, we got this other Kasumi. Please be okay. 2165. When this plays your hand to stage, you have 4 or more other game characters. You may choose a game character in your waiting room, put it in your stock. It is an anti-chain stock bomb. Okay, that's a good card.
This card is okay, yeah.
That is the Data Live. That's a B+. That's a B+ card. That's the Coterie bomb that it plays for nothing. It kills your opponent's early play for nothing.
Bomb, yeah. Good enough.
You don't have 4 or more early plays. Well,
Yeah,
you have a 4 or more early play, but like
She has one playable card out of the whole set.
Look at her.
and she's smiling. She's like, "You found it, my one good
You
card."
found my one good card.
Oh, I'm so upset. I wish she had better cards. Cost me such a cutie. Oh well. All right, I think that's it. It's just good. It's a free early play killer.
Yeah.
This is you, Tyler.
All right. We got 2/2 Wooly. I don't know if that's the actual name of it, but I like to call it that.
I think it's called Wooly.
Is it?
I don't have Heart of the Cards open though, so I can't check.
Alright. Well,
I can't
perform the
read
following
moons.
action twice. Choose one of your characters, and for that turn, the character gains the following ability. The character opposite of this gets -1 soul. Send this to memory.
So more neg soul that doesn't target your opponent's characters.
This is computer chip, but it's so much better for Bofuri than it is for Dell. Because it comes online at level 2.
It costs less too, because you're walling up at level 2.
Well, you have Misery. You have Cocutus in this set. So, like, you're building extra stock. So, if you're building an extra stock with a standby target attack, this is, like, effectively a 2-1 targeted minus, like,
Wait, they have Cocutus and Bofuri also?
Yes,
Yeah.
they have Cocutus, yeah.
Why are they printing this card in every goddamn set now? That's Overlord's thing. They're
Oh,
robbing
it's
me of my uniqueness.
Oh, it's a
bullshit.
double rare in this set.
Yeah, it's a double rare.
Okay, I guess that's fine then. But what the
It's
hell?
always a
Yeah.
consistent 10k though.
This
It's
is-
not.
Listen, man.
That's not power for
rarity
everybody.
Doesn't matter. Rarity doesn't matter if you're getting a playset.
Okay, look. Bofuri or Bofuri. This is the payoff card for Cocutus. Is this event. You have no amazing way to draw it, so you got to play 3 or 4 of it. However, but like this is like your whole game plan if you're playing 8 standby and Bofuri. It's like play as many of this event as possible until they're gone because they go to memory just like computer chip. So you can't recycle it, unfortunately. So you will eventually run out of them.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine.
It's okay.
But
If you're
does give you
Cocutus,
a lot of control over where the soul minus is.
yeah,
going.
I think because it chooses, it makes it a lot better. Because because I'm sure Andy's thinking about the RAS card, right? Which is what is that? Isn't that like a 2/2 as well?
I am thinking about the RAS card a little
Yeah,
bit.
the RAS card is like always -2 across, which makes it abusable. Whereas
It gives
this
it
card
-2
goes
across.
anywhere. And
But the RAS card also is searchable and loopable. The nice thing about this, though, like with the being able to choose where you're putting the minus soul, is that your counter step is after your opponent's trigger step.
Right, so you could
So
see
you get to see
Yeah.
like
you're
what they're
working with,
triggering before you do it. If they're swinging for exactly 2, you can just completely negate the attack. If your opponent's swinging and whoops, they triggered a 2 soul, you can say, okay, I'll eat this 5 and then I'll give -2 to your other character.
because
I
like
mean,
it lets you play the
You're gonna
like
cancel.
more effectively gamble on what to cancel on.
Mhm.
Because you can
lets
choose
you
where
it
to-
lets you optimally distribute the souls with more information because it's after your opponent's trigger.
And it doesn't truly target because it's character opposite this. You're choosing your
Yep.
own characters. So.
Oh, ooh, yeah, that is nice. That is nice. I didn't even realize
and,
that.
And notably, hexproof in Weiss is not like magic hexproof. You can choose your own hexproof characters. It's only your
Actually,
opponent that can't choose.
Well, actually, Carmen,
actually,
if you were a
sorry,
Magic the Gathering
spell-
player, you would know that.
Oh my
hexproof
God,
does let you
mhm.
choose your own card.
Yeah, you're right. Does it? Oh,
It
okay.
does.
Yes, Shroud is hexproof. but
Shroud is hexproof, but you can't. Well,
Shroud
the-
is balanced hexproof.
yeah, well, yeah. I was gonna say Shroud is a keyword that makes sense, and hexproof is a broken keyword for pimmies and idiots. But yeah, different conversation. Card's fine.
Take it to the lounge, dude.
I think that when you have Cocutus and you can view this as like a 2/1 -1 soul to 2 lanes is like really good.
Yeah.
Because you're generating extra stock off your card that you'd stand by anyway. But like it actively improves the card. But only for standby. I don't think anything else can support this card.
If there's no way to search it, then I'm only giving it like a niche plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
Yeah, solid.
What did I just do? Find out eventually. I don't know what. Oh no. I don't know what I did. Good thing
You
this.
just deleted your letter. You deleted your score.
Oh. Good thing the color's over because I don't know why it zoomed in like that. All right. We'll see you guys in red, I guess.